Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Max. So I've had a few of my friends, few people in the game have messaged me or asked me about talking about World Boss. You know, how does it work? How do you rank? You know, in the top 100 or top 30, or you know, how are the guys at the very top getting number one? And so, and how do you achieve those types of scores? So there's a lot of factors that actually play into it, but the number one thing I'm going to tell you is don't focus on World Boss. Okay, so this is not where we prioritize our rooms. Okay, you're going to prioritize your rooms for PvE, PvP, content, that sort of thing. You know, arena, AO defense, siege defense, siege AOs, all that good stuff. You don't want to prioritize World Boss over anything. Actually, it should be the very bottom of the list. But what I would, and so what the other thing is, I wouldn't go out of my way to necessarily build a bunch of units specifically for World Boss. Now, there are people that do it, people at the very, very top of World Boss that are scoring, you know, 6,000 plus, 60, you know, 60. I've seen scores up to, I think, 6,600. Now, there are some people that in the game like Corrosive and Barian and people like that, really good players with great runes. Charlie, he's always up there, and Destiny, I always see, or Des Nasty, I think's the name, from Malicious. I always see them up there. But I've actually got a guildie of mine. He finished Legend 1 week, named Junior, and so I know a little bit about it, but I seem to do pretty good. I mean, I normally stay. Number one thing with World Boss, you can't be in the top 30 every week, or number one every week. Okay, because World Boss resets. If you attack that last day, you can't attack after the World Boss comes back. Okay, so that's the first thing. And again, I can't stress enough, don't focus on World Boss. Okay, this is not a priority. But so what does the game look for? Okay, the game's going to look for 60 units. Okay, so number one thing is 60 units. All right, you gotta, when you get to 60 units, you will progress with runes now, awakened and beyond. If you don't have 60 units 6-star and awakened level, maxed out level 40, again, I can't stress enough, World Boss is not a priority. But if you are one of those people that has 66 stars and units awakened, and maybe you're kind of like me, been playing forever, and you've got all these units, then this can be a bonus for you. You get a little more crystals each week. That's all it is. It's not that big a deal. The rewards, there's nothing different about the chest that you get each day. Everybody has the same RNG to get the same stuff. It's just the higher you rank, the more slots open. That's all it is. That's the only difference. So I guess if you ranked F, I believe you get like 5 slots open, or maybe it's 6. I don't know, but S, triple S, and double S, that you're going to have all the slots open, and it's just RNG, as to what comes out of there. Sometimes you get some good stuff, but so 60 units. That's number one thing. Max skilled is not a must, but the more units you have max skilled, the better. The game is looking for one specific element, okay, that it prioritizes over all elements, is water. Okay, because the world boss is actually water and fire. So just think of it like this. If you took a wind unit against fire, it's going to lose. But a wind unit versus water, it's going to win. Okay? It has elemental advantage, right? And so wind versus water and wind versus fire is a draw. Okay, so wind units are a draw. Water units, water versus water, is going to be a draw, and water versus fire is a win. So it's a win for water. Whereas fire units is actually a loss, because fire versus water loses, and then fire versus fire is going to draw. So the best element for this is absolutely water. Then it prioritizes light and dark, then wind, then fire. Okay, so you get a little bit more of a bonus, that tribute bonus that you see right there at the end screen. It's coming up right now. You'll get a little bit more of a tribute bonus. So right there you see a tribute bonus, 16, 1, 2, 3, something like that. So you get a little bit more of a tribute bonus, for the more water units that you have, right? So water, that's key. 6-star, 60 units, that's key. All of them being level 40. Then number 3, skill ups. Max skill ups are best. Now again, some of the guys that are ranking, number 1, 2, and that sort of thing each week in World Boss, they have multiple of the same unit. I've seen multiple Woosas, Aerials, Taors, Chandras even. I've seen multiple of these units, and not just 6-star and Rune, but max skills as well. I don't really go out of my way to build for World Boss, but since Siege come out, I kind of started building a lot of units, just testing and seeing what works. Just more or less to have options. All these Gyro defenses we come against. So like Lapis here, Lapis, she does okay. She does okay in World Boss, but that's not what she's rooting for. Mi Yang, I use her for my second team in R5. Soha, I use her all the time in Siege 4-star battles. Rena, Rena's a classic. I've had Rena forever, 6-star, and Rune, triple HP for arena defense, the stall meta, right? So that's what I use her for. Unit types, okay? So Comtus won't come straight out and say one way or the other whether, how it prioritizes everything. Okay, so I can't confirm anything for you, and I haven't read anything on Reddit that can confirm it 100% that this is the way it works, but this is my opinion, okay? So unit types, to me, it seems like it prioritizes support a bit better than it does HP, defense, and attack. Okay, so if you're choosing to build a unit, or what quality level of runes you want to put on something, support seems to be the best. But again, I can't stress enough, don't worry about World Boss until you got everything else situated, right? So I've got a few units myself, like Reno. I never use Reno. I never ever use it. I thought I was going to use him. He seemed cool when he come out, but he's one of those units that I 6-star max skilled, max leveled, and then he went to storage, So it's just one of those things. I mean, I have took a bullet for everybody else, and took a bullet for with the best of them, on some of these units, and but I thought I was going to use him, didn't end up using him, but he's an attack type unit. So the way you want to rune these units based on their type, on an attack type unit, if you're just runing him for World Boss, number one, you want to look at the roles that rune may have got. I know everybody gets all these fun runes that we just really don't have too much of a use of, but it may roll really well. And so that's the type of runes that I put on. See, there's Junior there, rank 3. But that's the type of runes that I put on my unit. So attack type, triple attack; defense type, triple defense; HP type, triple HP. Support is a little different. With them, you want to go HP defense defense or HP defense HP. Okay, and I would base that solely upon how high their base HP or base defense is. Okay, you can't negate one or the other. So Veramos, I use him as I run him HP defense HP because his HP is a bit higher than what his defense is, and he has a decent HP versus his defense is what I should say. So, but that's what I do with him, and it'll just be based on that unit, based on what that unit's base stats are. The rank, the fifth thing I want to get to, the rank of the stats and the subs on your runes. Okay, so how does the game look at that? All right, so people think, speed's the most important thing in the game, and it is the most important thing in the game in a lot of cases. If you move first, you win. Okay, a lot of times, especially with AO and that sort of thing, and even AD. But in World Boss, it's actually one of the worst things to have on a unit. The way World Boss seems to rank things is HP, defense, then attack, resistance, accuracy, then speed, crit rate, crit damage. Okay, in that order. So it's looking for those stats on your units. Okay, of course, legendary runes are should roll better, or you should have better stats, I should say, on those than what you do on, say, a white or a green rune, right? But that's what you need to keep in the back of your mind, that ranking of the stats. The sixth thing here, it's a myth. It's a myth that flat 246 with high rolls to the subs are better. World Boss looks at pure stats. Okay, so I would not go with. I would not go to maxing out 246 flat stat runes. Okay. Unless it had just a crazy speed sub and you were going to max it anyway. I've got one on my Bernard, and I did that for him. So it rolled like 28 some odd speed, So I maxed that rune out, right? But it was a slot 4. The last thing on World Boss, of course, it wouldn't be Summoner's War without a little bit of RNG. World Boss has a bit of RNG in there. I've had certain days, like the day, I think that this is one of those days where I actually scored a lot lower than I normally score. My normal score had been about 5,900, something like that. But I think the day before this day, I had scored 5,798. And I totaled this day's out, the three battles out, and it was something like 6150 or something like that, right? So, it's got a little bit of RNG in there, So, again, I can't stress enough, this is not the content that you need to focus on. But if you have some of these units, if you've been playing for a while, and you have some of these units that you may have 6-starred or built or whatever back in the day, and you're looking to kind of prioritize them for another purpose, instead of them just sitting in storage, you can throw those extra runes that you have there, and do pretty decent. So for me, every other week I can rank in the top 30 normally. This is my week, and so I'll be ranking top 30 this week. But you get a little more crystals. Yeah, it's not a big deal. You're not making or breaking the game or nothing like. You get a few more runs in. It's really not that big a deal. But I just figured I'd kind of throw it out there, and I appreciate everybody watching. Y'all have a good one. Bye now.